This is Officer X-Cop. Today is August 11th, 2014. I just got back from the war zone looking at Ferguson, Missouri, after the death of the young man, Brown, who was killed and shot, in my opinion, too many times by the Ferguson police officer. I have this to say to the family and to the friends and to the sympathizers that you are never going to get anywhere with that type of behavior. We have seen throughout the United States that picketing does no good whatsoever. What happens is after you picket, you normally feel placated, like you've done something. You burned and expended some energy, as if that energy is going to make a permanent change. Then the forces and the powers that be know that after a while you're going to be satisfied with your ranting and your shenanigans and your loud talk and your cries for violence, and then you're going to go right back to your passive position of do nothing or do very little. Now, I have a solution for you throughout the whole United States. This will absolutely stop all of the unnecessary police brutality, if indeed it is. Now, I believe that police need to be rough, tough, and absolutely brutal, and use deadly force when necessary. But far too many times it is not necessary, and you can see that it's not necessary because it's not dealt out to other nationalities like it is to blacks. So therefore, there is another way. If you want to resolve police brutality, this is what you must do. You black people that are upset, the only thing that you have left is your dollar. They may not care about you and your families, but they do care about your black dollar. Now, if you go and you initiate an economic boycott and you decide how long that boycott is going to be, establish an oversight committee of your own. You don't need the government, you don't need the local police department to do this. Establish what you and your municipality deem to be the just thing to do for whatever has been done. And if you absolutely will follow the pattern of Dr. King and stop spending your money, don't give it a time limit, because after that time limit, it'll be business as usual. But you determine how long you're going to economically boycott and not spend one penny, and you'll see that in a quick period of time, there will be an economic collapse of that particular area. And the business people that are there, which are probably white business people, Arab or Asian or something, someone of that type, they will initiate the call to action for your justice. Now, there's been enough bloodshed. You cry about Trayvon, you're crying about, I think it's Michael Brown, you're crying about the gentle giant up there, the wonderful the black man in New York City who was killed through a chokehold. You picket, you call for your religious leaders, you make a big show for a little while, and then there's nothing, period. So nobody's going to ever respect your actions. You only get locked up unnecessarily. I'm telling you that an economic boycott on your own conditions. For example, what if the agency say, we've decided that this is enough punishment. Several days off for the officer with pay or 2 weeks is enough. And you have a mother crying with no father or whatever, and the video and the witnesses deem that it was unnecessary brutality, then you make the decision that there will not be a dime or a penny spent there until you are satisfied. And you mark my words, then and only then will you get justice. Now, you can go back to the other foolish way. You can march until the bottoms of your shoes are worn out. You can get out there and talk tough and get locked up and arrested and make a scene. Some of you are show ponies, really not from the heart, supposed civil rights activists can get out there and make a name in the media, and after the media is gone, you're gone. So this is to the people that really want to make a change. It's about time for you black preachers to be more than just somebody that's trying to send people to heaven, because you have failed your people. Do you understand me? As a pastor, minister, police chaplain, and a former cop for 22 years, I'm telling you, you have failed your people. The Bible says that Jesus went to his own, so there's a time when his own received him, not anyone elsewhere. So that lets you know that at a certain point in time, you need to look at your job and your obligation to your black constituents. Now, some of you are going to Uncle Tom out, and you're going to be bought out. You're going to be placated. You're going to follow the ways of the powers that be, because they're going to stroke you, and they're going to talk about how nice you are and how good you are and what they can do for you if you go along with their program. See, what is happening that's wrong is you are allowing the energy that's generated when the masses of people are in an uproar. They're frustrated. They want to strike back some kind of way. And so what you do is you're used by the powers that be to quash the energy and tell them, we don't need to be violent, we don't need to be this, we don't need to be that. And that is true. But on the other hand, they do need to do something that'll send a message. And I'm saying to you, a total economic boycott on your own conditions is the answer, not only in Ferguson, but in every state of the Union, state of the United States, and beyond. In most cases where capital is king, economic boycott will work. But see, if they don't care about you, they do care about your spending money in their big places of business. If you stop that, think about it. The revenues, the general revenues that the police officers actually, and that the administrations that pay these police officers get, is monitored closely. With the economic times of the state so hard up, and some states filing for bankruptcies and cities trying to file for bankruptcy in Chapter 11, they need to keep their dollars. They need as much revenue as possible. So if there's a serious boycott economically, don't you know that the administrations will stop that problem? They will give commands that will be obeyed, and they will understand that you can no longer be taken for granted, and that you're going to do more than just march around that does nothing whatsoever. Maybe you're a fan of a few flyers around, but you will do nothing other than that. So think about what I'm saying to you. The only thing you have left, fortunately, is the most powerful thing that you have, and that is your dollar. And if you don't use it, shame on you. Don't cry again for another man, woman, boy, child that is killed or abused unnecessarily. See, people don't know what it's like to be black. You know, I did 22 years in law enforcement, and I also have somewhat of apprehension when cops come my way, because you never know how it's going to go. You never know what that guy is getting ready to do. So I'm saying to you, controls must be implemented, and you that are leaders must get and particularly religious leaders. If you religious leaders would do what you're supposed to do, this problem would be resolved overnight. And it does not matter whether they are Muslim, Baptist, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, or whatever. This is a cultural color problem. Black people are being done tremendously worse than anybody else. So in fairness, you need to be tremendously better than the other religious leaders, but you are not. You are still a shame and a pity before God. Your only reward for your people is after they die, you are a sick leader, a coward. Stand up for your people. And people, if they don't stand up, religious leaders, leave them. You cannot afford to follow a coward. So, as I close, it is time to put aside the unnecessary looting, the stealing, the robbing, the threats to the police, the getting locked up and not having bond money to get out. It is totally useless. Dr. King showed you what to do. The economic boycott is your power. When will you use it?